Looking for an inspirational Christmas gift? We got this. Joining us now, one of the authors of Fit to Fight. I don't know if you wrote the chapter together or if it was like an individual thing.
Well, she always helps me with writing. It's my chapter. And so Fit to Fight is also talking about how people can get to where they really want, which is TUL, total unconditional love. Most people get TCL, total conditional love. So what this book is about is being able to give people what we call Fit to Fight, to be armored up. And are you armored up for all the different issues that come up in your life? And you know, Linda and I are very passionate about marriages, and so we do coaching and classes, and so this was one of our newest things that just came out, so people can get a copy of this and see my chapter in my book, which is What Everyone Hungers For, TUL.
So I thought this was so interesting. You kind of like share some of your releases with me, and I started like sort of reading a little bit about it. But part of the reason it fascinated me is about what you do. So just to remind our audience, together you have a kind of a, I don't know, motivational institute. What do you call your group?
We have McGrane Global Centers is what we call it, and we do have a passion for marriages because that's God's territory. And right now the enemy is after the marriages like no other time. And so we really want to bulletproof marriages, because when the enemy comes in and he can take a marriage or divide a family, it goes all the way down through the generations into the children, which then goes 3 or 4 more generations down. So we have a passion to stop that. And there's no reason to have pain in relationships. We can teach people very simply how to get through arguments, how to get through conflict, how to get their needs met, how to have passion again. And so like in our last class we had probably 5 or 6 couples that were committed to divorce. They had it and were ready to give up totally. And by the end of the 12 weeks, they went from like a 1 to a 9, and they had a passion for each other and a love that they had never had before. And
that
so
is
it works.
so powerful to hear that, because the family unit is what we all sort of need in our lives in some way. But remind me, I think you do this kind of stuff because you've had the perfect marriages and no trouble and all the rest of that, right?
We're like everybody else. We just learned the tools to survive, and we're sharing that with other people.
Yeah. Did you have like a second marriage and a blended family?
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
We both have been married before, and a blended family. We have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. So for people who are really understanding what's really going on, they need to deal with those issues early instead of later.
I feel that gives you street cred. That's why I asked that question.
Yes.
You know, like when you really have been through it, then you know.
No,
okay.
we've been through all the pain, so we know where everyone is.
And I love that, because the more you understand, the more you do relate. And so when I was looking into what this was really about, it sort of seemed like it was equipping families with tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so a whole bunch of people wrote chapters, or tell me a little bit about that.
Yep, everybody wrote different men wrote a chapter in the book, and it's really their journey of how they went from not being in alignment with the Lord to how they are. And it will give people hope, it'll give people inspiration, and more importantly, there'll be practical tools that people can get here to make their life, their marriage, their family a whole better place.
So you sent us a little video. I just want to play where you're like, oh, look, we got our books today. But I'm wondering, where did the inspiration for this come from, or why did you decide that we needed to put this together?
Well, for a lot of marriages, men don't know how to be men, and they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to be the head of the unit. And so this book is really put together. Many of the men go through their journey of how they were actually able to do that. And so it's just a beautiful, like Bill said, there are tips in here. When you read the story, you can put yourself into it and then take what they've said, and it's like a model, so that it will help men become men. When men become men, then women can come underneath them, and that's how God really created it, so that they can be one, instead of the triggers of one creating the triggers of the other, and then it goes back and forth, and it's just, it's just dynamite. It's just a blow-up situation. And so this book really helps in many different situations. What are there, 22 authors? So every situation is different, but you can find yourself in almost every chapter, and then bring something that you can, look towards to be greater in whatever way, or to follow Christ in whatever way. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
All right, so the payoff, how do we find it? You know, who is it right for, that kind of thing as we're picking our Christmas gifts?
They can go to McGrane.com, MCGRANE.com, and there'll be a button that says bestseller. They can click on that and buy it right there. They also, for people who want to know more about everything that we're doing, they can go to that website as well. In fact, we have a free ebook that we're giving to people, so they can go online there and get that as well.
I appreciate that you just share the little bits of wisdom that unfortunately you sometimes have to go through hard stuff to learn. I think that's humbling, but I think it's how we use those experiences to help other people. I think that's remarkable.
Absolutely. You know, most people want to do well, they just don't know how to do well, and that's what we love to do, is give them and equip them with the skills and tools to be able to do that.
And how much is the book on Amazon or whatever, if I want to?
$20, and they can get it hardback, paperback, and they can even get it on in digital form if they'd like.
Thank you. All right, it is called Fit to Fight.
Fit to Fight, Are You Armored Up?
Are You Armored Up? And I kind of glanced at it, and in your release, some of the stories. They are really inspirational. Yeah. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for building into families in our community. Great to have you back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you.